FX presents the NERDSoul podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indubians. I'm Kortney.
And I'm T. Sterling Watson.
And this is the NERDSoul podcast. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. How's it going, Sterling?
It is going pretty well, I think. I'm awake. I'm here.
Good.
How about you?
Good. I hope so. Pretty good. Can't complain. How's it feel to be on the other side today?
It is interesting. It's I don't know if you've experienced this before, if somebody else is driving your car and passenger seat, like kind of like, oh, this feels weird. But
good weird or bad weird?
I mean, I would say good weird because you're still going to an agreed destination. So it's not like you're just kidnapping me in my own car, but you know, it was
kind of like kidnapping you in your own car.
Yes. But well, you know, like, you know, hostage or anything. And we've already agreed where we're going. I've already looked at the map. I'm like, okay, you know, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, you know, sometimes it's just good to switch things up and shake it up and just, you know, keep people on their toes. That's exactly what we're doing today.
Yes. And plus, you know, I mean, you host a podcast too, you know, and just how do you feel hosting a podcast that's not yours?
It's weird. It's weird. Even though I'm on this podcast, it's just weird not being, being the showrunner in this case. Yeah, but you know, it's all good. It's what we're here to do is entertain the people and entertain ourselves, and that's what we're doing.
Exactly. And it's not like you haven't done it before, or not, or like I said before, you're not already a host, but you know, you got the chops for it.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Glad you think so.
Of course, the podcast is in trusted hands. Yes.
Well, good. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have let me host even temporarily had I been some random or you hadn't seen my chops.
Right.
So, you know, I get it.
It's all good. So
I feel like the pressure's on. I definitely feel like the pressure's on in this role for sure. It's the spotlight's on, the pressure's on. Got to drive this thing home, you know?
Right. And we only just begun. We didn't even get on the highway yet. We were just like going out of the driveway, going down the street. Like, oh, you know, that diner is just opened. I'll look at it. You know, oh, it's pretty cool. So that's where we are.
Yep, that's where we are. Yep. So the Oscars just passed.
Yes, it did.
What did you feel overall? How did you feel about the show, the fashion, the music? What do you think?
I'll do a brief recap here, and most times I love to be just snarky and cynical about the award show as much as I love loving it or watching it. It is a very long show. It's the longest out of all the award shows that I think I regularly watch. It includes the Globes, it includes the Grammys, and I believe the Emmys. So I don't watch the Tonys unless Hamilton is involved, which it was only that 1 year. But yes, this clocked in just under 4 hours. Yes, I know. I don't normally pay attention to fashion, but there was some real serious looks. Our lovely Wakandan royalty showed up in full flair and effect and just looking immaculate. I kind of relived my crush for Kelly. Oh man, I forgot her middle name. I think her last name is Tran though, but she is, she came in like a light blue dress. She's, the character is Rose in Star Wars, but she was there. Just a whole bunch of people that were there. I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. This just looks like a great event. Sad to say. A big party, yes. Jimmy Kimmel was hosting again, which I'm like. I don't even watch his late night show, but occasionally it's on. Occasionally he's got a few jokes. No,
just not your cup of tea there.
Not my cup of tea. I'm a Colbert fan personally, and if Colbert isn't on, then I'll watch Fallon. So that's the network hierarchy for me.
Gotcha.
There is a petition going around. I don't know if it's an official one, but they should make one to have Tiffany Haddish and Maya Rudolph host next year, because they had a presenter bit, which I believe is now floating on the interwebs, of just their 2 minutes, just killing, just bantering with each other before they the next thing. And that was hilarious. Like, this is what we need. This is what we want. This is the life blood of the show. They should let them host next time.
I would watch the Oscars if they host it next year.
Yes.
That's probably the only way I'm going to do it, though.
I mean, even if it was just Tiffany Haddish herself, I would still watch, because she is like living her best life, especially.
She is. Oh,
everywhere.
man, she is. I love her, and I'm so proud of her and happy for her. And I think she should host the Oscars. Totally.
I do too. Because I don't think the last time they had a woman hosting, I think it was Ellen, which, she actually did pretty good when she hosted. She had fun. And I believe she's like the Indu podcast in a way, where she just invites you to have fun with her. Just have fun.
Yeah.
We just don't dance here. I'm pretty sure we would be dancing if there's video cameras, and we just could dance in our chairs or something. So I don't claim to be that great of a dancer, but then again, it doesn't matter. So it's
all about having fun. What is it? It's about the journey, not the destination.
Exactly. So there was that. There were some great performances. Everyone who's nominated for the best song, they do perform their song, and everyone did really well, I would think. There were some moving ones.
I have some qualms about that.
Okay, what's your qualms?
I heard 2 songs, because you just can't miss this stuff. But I heard 2 songs, and I wasn't super impressed with this. Like, okay, so I heard the first one I heard was "Remember Me" from Coco, which was a brilliant movie, and it's a brilliant song. But them doing it live didn't quite touch my spirit the way that it did in the movie. I don't know. I feel like you. What was that?
So I do agree with you. Yes.
I just feel like it was a bit flat. Actually, the 2 songs that I heard were very flattish. Like, they weren't. And somebody else kind of mentioned this to me too. Like, it's not Grammy level performances. It's like, this is the Oscars, and we're wanting to also include music, but that's not their forte. So I don't know. So I got through it. It's whatever, because I love the song and I love the movie. So I had to just kind of square up, and The second song I heard was the one from The Greatest Showman.
I had a feeling it was that one.
So, okay. So the song still made me weepy. It still made me kind of teary-eyed, because it's a great song. And like the energy of the performances, like of the background folks, was great. But the lead lady, she just was a bit
flat. Kind of.
Yes. Her energy was there and her emotion was there, but like, she just wasn't hitting those notes, She wasn't quite hitting it. So,
and I thought that was weird, because she's actually I'm not sure if she's a Broadway star, but she does sing on Broadway. So I thought, she would bring it, but maybe it was nerves. I don't know what it was, but
I don't know.
I enjoyed the performance, but it just wasn't like, it was more of a B minus for me.
I would give it a C. I would go so far as to give it a C, just because the sound wasn't matching the energy and the visuals. And if you're singing a song, that is kind of important,
Right,
so right. I just was it was a little lackluster to me.
I think what I will say about the performance, though, is that it really brings back the number in the movie. Like, when they perform it in the movie, a lot of those are the same. So I thought that was great. And it really just advertised for me. It's like, hey, I want to go see this again, because it was worth it for the pun unintended, but the showmanship of the show, of the movie. So, I mean, that's what I went for the movie for, to go see, is to see pretty much a spectacle, and that's what you get. I agree with both of what you said with both performances. I'm kind of struggling to remember the other 3. Oh, wait, nope, I'm sorry. Common and Andra Day. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
I did miss that. How did they do?
I believe this might have been a new verse that Common must have wrote just for tonight, or not tonight, for that performance. Because it was spot on. It spoke on everything, all the issues that was going on. Not only that, but the people that they brought on stage, they brought up 10 different representatives of different causes and movements that are happening right now. So they were on stage just, standing for what their movements are. I don't remember any of their names. There was a list that went around. Andra Day, of course, she has a voice that will just pull tears out of your eye sockets, whether you like it or not.
Okay.
I mean, she, in my humblest opinion, I feel like she's really underrated. Like, they don't really bring her out.
Yeah.
They don't boost her like Beyonce, for example. Like, I wish she got that kind of acclaim. Like,
yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, she definitely, I agree. She's a standalone type artist, and she has the range. I mean, she really does. And so I do wish she had more of the spotlight. I think she's coming out a lot more, and she's I really do think she's doing a lot more. I'm seeing her more. So I hope that's a good sign, and I hope that's a trend that we continue to see. Because she deserves it. She's a great artist.
She is. And yeah, I enjoyed that. There's something else. Oh, and I had told this to you while it was happening because you were watching another show, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And a couple of the presentations or even acceptance speeches were very, I'll even say diverse. One such person, oh my goodness, I forgot his name. I think he was in Wonder Woman. He played the Native American chief, but I can't remember his real.
Yeah. Oh. Language. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name either, though.
And for a short live action film, the winner, whose name I also don't remember. I think I almost followed her on Twitter too, because she looked like another actress that I thought she was, but she was somebody else.
Okay.
Haley Atwell, I think, but it wasn't her, it was somebody else. But she signed her acceptance speech because her short film was about a deaf child.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And one of my favorite deaf people that I've never met in person. Apparently he met with her. I don't know if it was their first meeting ever. But he's very much, of course, I can't think of his name right now, but he's very much a, deaf culture advocate. He is a deaf man, obviously, and he is very much vocal, vocal in terms of deaf culture, getting it out there, representation. He went to see Black Panther and was very outspoken about his terrible experience because, the closed captioning machines that they use was apparently super just malfunctioning really bad. And it just really affected his experience, and everybody should have that experience. If nothing else, it just was like, okay, yeah. But he met with the lady, and they were holding her Oscar, and it was a beautiful moment.
Wow.
But I missed that. I'll have to look that up and check it out.
I might have it on my timeline. I'll have to go back and check, or and then if I do, I'll just send it to you or tweet it again. Now, about that experience in a movie theater where the closed caption doesn't work, I was at a theater where someone hard of hearing requested it and it did not work. And that customer and I believe his friends and family, whoever was with him, there's a few of them, they got up and they were upset. I really don't remember what movie it was, and it was a few years ago, but I felt really horrible for them. And that has always stuck with me. And I've always, I've always kind of wondered if that ever got resolved or what, or I don't know.
Well, and with this guy that I follow on Twitter, I'm going to have to look him up, give him his due credit, but he, the solution that the theater gave him was, we'll give you 2 extra tickets, or we'll give you some comp tickets for you to come back later. And he's just like, are you serious? The problem is still there, though. You're still going to give me these same crappy, this same crappy machine that's going to give me the same problem the next time I come back. So it's just it's 2018. we have theaters where, we have reclining seats, and some of them warm up, some of them vibrate, probably not, but very high tech. We have these 3D screens, we have all of this technology, and yet to me, that's a basic piece of accessibility. That's very basic, and we can't even seem to get that right. So it's just pretty sad that even something like that is so it puts up the wall between us and them. It's an us and them type of thing, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, we should really meet those needs before we start trying to get our seats to vibrate, because we need everybody to enjoy the experience or the movie, for what, then add on the other stuff, including some theaters that serve drinks. I don't know where these theaters are. I would like to know, but
Well, come on down to Little Rock, Arkansas. We just opened one recently, and I heard it's the bee's knees.
Oh, well, let me put that on the itinerary. All right, marking a little note there. Now, also, we played a game last episode where we predicted.
We did. Tell us about it.
I shall. Now, really briefly, the game basically is we predicted who we thought would win, and then we also gave who we wanted to win. Now, predictions, if you got the prediction right, you got 2 points. If you're who you wanted to win or who should win, that would give you 1 point. Now, if you picked the same movie that was both a prediction and a want/wish, then you got 3 points. So with that said, here's the rundown, starting with myself. And again, I was not expecting to win, but I ended up winning with 37 points. I got 14 out of 24 correct.
Congrats.
Thank you. Then you came next with 12 out of 24 correct. You've got 31 points.
Woohoo!
If it wasn't for that, but I'll still say you tied with Candace with also 12 correct out of 24. She got 30 points. And our friend Lauren got 10 points, or 10 correct out of 24 with 24 points. She felt.
Well, congrats to all.
Yes,
we did it.
Congrats to all. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I did have fun doing this and then calculating everybody up. And I mean, I was sweating, adding the numbers, like crunching the numbers, like, oh no, like who's winning, who's in the lead? Because I waited till after the ceremony was over to do the calculations. At one point, you were in the lead, and then Candace was in the lead. Everybody had a spot where they were in the lead when I was crunching numbers, and then. I really was hoping I wasn't going to win because I kind of wanted somebody else to win. Just no.
Oh, that's really sweet. So what are you going to do with this newfound victory under your belt?
I mean, basically we're just playing just to have fun. Ultimately, I guess bragging rights, but I don't even like bragging about anything really. Maybe stupid things like, oh, I got a mug. So I'd brag about that. But, I don't know. I'm hoping we can all play again next year. Maybe I'll see if I can find a way to open up the game to other people that are listening and they want to kind of play along too. Just sounds like programming.
I think you should. It was actually a lot of fun. I'm not one that gets into award shows very much. I just, right. But it's, if there's something at stake, and then in this case, there's bragging rights, which apparently one of us is not going to be using. No. It's still fun to just kind of cast your lot and see what you come up with, and then to see kind of which direction the Academy is going to go. So it was pretty fun, I have to say. And I want to give a special thank you to Candace for encouraging to use the who do we want to win? Because I wasn't going to do. Yeah. I like that. I actually really like that too, because it's it's very clear that what we want is not necessarily going to happen. So it was fun to kind of see how that played out as well. And it does kind of make you think, if you're trying to predict, not to let your wants kind of confuse what you think might actually happen. Yeah, and I mean, it really was interesting to see kind of how it played out and how wrong we were or how close we were. So, yeah. And Best Picture goes to The Shape of Water, or one of my favorite alternate titles is Grinding Nemo. So that is the Best Picture winner. Many people were upset that Get Out didn't win. There's a whole bunch of controversy about that and stuff to it.
But we are where we are, and it was kind of almost, I don't want to say it was in the written on the wall, because how I base my predictions is looking at other award shows and how they vote.
And they're pretty much, they tend to follow each other, don't they?
They do, especially when the acting categories. That's how I pretty much got those categories right for predictions. Those were easy, and it's not always. We like to be surprised, and that's kind of what makes it boring. I'm like, okay, Gary Oldman's going to win. Oh, he won, and wow, whatever. But it's nice to surprise sometimes, and it does happen. So, but it just didn't happen this time. We knew it was going to be either those three movies. It was either going to be three billboards, which I'm so glad it wasn't, because that movie was horrible. I did do a review on Patreon. I was being too kind and saying like, it was a movie. It was an experience, but no, I did not like it. The Shape of Water and Get Out. Shape of Water, I do like, and I'm glad that it won out of everything else, because pretty movie. There is also a Patreon review, so go check that out of Shape of Water. I have two more I've recorded, but I have not posted. One is for The Post, which was also a nominated movie. Nominated just because. And I mean, if you like history and journalism, check it out. It's actually pretty good. And the other movie I saw recently is Game Night. So there is a review for that. And I'll just say it was very funny, very hilarious. If you need to, in between your repeat viewings of Black Panther, you just want a little something different, Game Night is a good
I'm
bet.
actually going to, I'm going to see that tomorrow, Game Night. So I'm looking forward to it very much. Especially since I have not seen Black Panther for a second viewing, and I'm feeling some type of way about it. So Game Night's going to have to do for now. And I'm glad that you're giving it such high marks, because it's filling a void basically right now. Yeah.
And I felt validated because I heard some other reviews recently, and they also gave it high marks too. It's like, okay, it's not just me, but even still, it's me. So I'm not going to lie to you.
We trust you.
Yeah.
We trust your judgment. That's why that's why we pay you the big bucks.
Exactly. If only I could get a sponsorship deal from MoviePass, because thank you, MoviePass, for allowing me to see all of these films in theaters.
Hey, I know, right?
Just for $10 a month. I'm sitting here giving them free press and everything, but yeah.
You'll get there one day. I promise. It's going to happen.
And also, the day of recording this, by the way, is my dad's birthday. So I just want to give him a happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Dad. I hope your day's going well. I hope it's been all that you've wanted, because you definitely deserve it.
Indeed.
So happy birthday. And on that note, we are going to take a quick break.
The NERDSoul Podcast.
Hey there, do you like talking about your favorite comic book and characters? Or a TV series you love to binge? Or how Goku from Dragon Ball Z was trash, but it was still your gateway anime? But you're also interested in talking about different social issues and current events, like representation, Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, or racism? Well then, you're in luck. I've got a podcast where we dive into all of that. It's called Speak On It. I'm your host, Nisha, a millennial that's just trying to live my black and nerdy life while also staying informed. So every episode, a guest and I will dive into a discussion that can cover everything from anime to activism and Speak On It. You can head over to iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever else these RSS feeds go to subscribe, listen, and stay tuned. Talk to you soon.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us through that commercial break. Wasn't it great, Sterling?
It was. It really, I mean, it warmed the cockles of my heart.
That's a word I'm going to add to my list. Listeners, you're going to find out what exactly I'm talking about very shortly. So just hang on, and the mystery will be removed. The shroud will be lifted. Is that what I'm trying to say?
Revealed?
The shroud will be lifted.
Okay, lifted.
Okay, there we go.
How about unsheathed? Does that work for you?
I feel like that's more of a sword or a weapon.
The truth
the truth will be unsheathed.
Mm-hmm. No, maybe.
But that still goes back to like, because isn't there a sword of truth? Isn't that from the Bible? What is it?
Yeah, that is biblical. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're so basically, like I was saying, unsheath does not work for this because we're still talking about weaponry.
Okay. Right.
Anyways, hey guys, thanks for listening and warming the cockles of our hearts. While you're here, we're gonna talk about some Black history facts.
All right, hold on.
Black history.
Black history.
Black history. Black history. Facts.
All right. So this month is extra special because not only are we going, or this episode rather, is extra special with the Black History Fact because not only is it a Black History Fact, but this is also Women's History Month. March is. So today's Black History Fact, we're going to learn about Madam C.J. Walker. Her real name is Sarah Breedlove. But she was an African-American entrepreneur, philanthropist, and a political and social activist. So many of us know about her hair care products and things, but we're going to learn a bit more about the other things that she's also done, which is pretty impressive. So she is the first female self-made millionaire in America, and she became one of the wealthiest African-American women in the country, or the world's most successful female entrepreneur of her time. She's also one of the most successful African-American business owners ever, which is pretty dang impressive. Mm. Initially, Sarah, or Madam C.J. Walker as we know her, learned about hair care from her brothers, who were barbers in St. Louis. In 1904, she became a commission agent selling products for Annie Turnbow Malone, an African-American hair care entrepreneur and owner of the Poirot Company. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Poirot Company.
Sounds right.
While working for Malone, who would later become Walker's largest rival in the hair care industry, Sarah began to adapt her knowledge of hair and hair products to develop her own product line.
Well, in July 1905, when she was 37 years old, you still have time, Sarah and her daughter moved to Denver, Colorado, where she continued to sell products for Malone and develop her own hair care business. Following her marriage to Charles Walker in 1906, she became known as Madam C.J. Walker and marketed herself as an independent hairdresser and retailer of cosmetic creams. Madam, putting that in quotes, was adopted from women pioneers of the French beauty industry. So Madam does not always mean like not necessarily a woman of the streets, but someone who, I guess,
Lady of the Night.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. It's a French thing. Her husband, who was also her business partner, provided advice on advertising and promotion. Sarah sold her products door to door, teaching other Black women how to groom and style their hair.
Which is so important, you guys. That's so important. So she was way ahead of her time and did the dang thing. Mm-hmm. So in 1910, Walker established the headquarters for the Madam C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company. Walker later built a factory, hair salon, and beauty school to train her sales agents and added a laboratory to help with research. She also assembled a competent staff that included to assist in managing the growing company. Many of her company's employees, including those in key management and staff positions, were women. In addition to training in sales and grooming, Walker showed other Black women how to budget, build their own businesses, and encouraged them to become financially independent. A woman after my own heart. Mm-hmm. In 1917, Walker began organizing her sales agents into state and local clubs. The result was the establishment of the National Beauty Culturist and Benevolent Association of Madam C.J. Walker Agents. Its first annual conference convened in Philadelphia during the summer of 1917 with 200 attendees. The conference is believed to have been among the first national gatherings of women entrepreneurs to discuss business and commerce.
And by the way, this the more I read about her, the more I was like, oh, Kortney's gonna love this woman.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've known a lot of this from or about Madam C.J. Walker, a lot of it has kind of gone from my immediate knowledge of her. So no, reading this and hearing this again is kind of bringing up reasons why I always have liked this woman, because she's very much kind of going the same path that I would like to go, you know?
Mm-hmm. And this is only just like a touch of the stuff that she's done. We're only just highlighting bits and pieces, but we shall continue.
Let's continue.
Walker became more involved in political matters after her move to New York. She delivered lectures on political, economic, and social issues at conventions sponsored by powerful Black institutions. Her friends and associates included Booker T. Washington, Mary McLeod Bethune, and W.E.B. Du Bois. In 1917, she joined the Executive Committee of New York chapter of the NAACP, which organized the Silent Protest Parade, something that we will be talking about in a couple months, on New York City's Fifth Avenue. The public demonstration drew more than 8,000 African Americans to protest a riot in East St. Louis, that killed 39 African Americans.
So Walker died on May 25th, 1919 from kidney failure and complications of hypertension at the age of 51. At the time of her death, Walker was considered to be the wealthiest African American woman in America. She was she was eulogized as the first female self-made millionaire in America, but Walker's estate was only worth an estimated $600,000 or approximately $8 million in present-day dollars upon her death. According to Walker's New York Times obituary, she said herself 2 years ago, in 1917, that she was not yet a millionaire, but hoped to be sometime. At the time of Walker's death, the average American's annual salary was $750. Wow. Her daughter, which I believe is pronounced Alelia Walker, became the president of the Madam C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company. On March 4th, 2016, skincare and hair care company Sundial Brands launched a collaboration with Sephora in honor of Walker's legacy. The launch, titled Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Culture, comprised 4 collections and focused on the use of natural ingredients to care for different types of hair. As of 2017, actress Octavia Spencer has committed to portray Walker in a TV series based on the biography of Walker by Alelia Bundles, Walker's great-great-granddaughter.
Which I am hoping to see and looking for, because I would be interested in seeing that. Furthermore, if you want to find more information, there's a lot of information, but something that I will be looking into personally is a book called The Black Rose, the dramatic story of Madam C.J. Walker, America's first Black female millionaire, by Tanana Ridu. Hoping I said that right, because I've been practicing it and then I froze and forgot.
It's okay.
But I froze.
It's okay. You're forgiven.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I love her story. I love this story. She did so much, accomplished levels of things. So I'm encouraged. Just hearing about this and reading about this encourages me to do what I need to do to get where I need to get to, you know. And
I'm sorry, go on.
Well, no, just it's and I love your kind of your extra bit in there where it's not too late. You know, there's not a right age to do anything, right, in terms of achieving your goals and achieving your dreams. It's just a matter of doing it. So it's encouraging to hear about people like Madam C.J. Walker, who were not 21 and owned everything, and was able to really make a huge difference. That it's still it's still being added to her legacy. Is still ongoing. So it's just very refreshing. It is.
That was more of like a shout out also to our friend and past guest April Rain, who reminded us that you have time. So yeah, we definitely have time to explode and be great.
Yeah.
There is a picture. Now, all of this, I pretty much took chunks from Wikipedia, but there is a picture, which I should have copied over because it's just awesome. And it is her and all of her friends, like all of her ladies in a car, just like chilling. I don't know where they're going, but they're dressed to the nines, probably the tens, and they are going somewhere, but they're just looking awesome. Even
look good doing it.
Yes. In the 19 something, probably 1910s. I forgot what the year was posted on the picture, but just a successful picture right there. So African-American women doing their thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, on that note, we are going to take another break. See you soon.
The Indu Podcast.
Hello, Indubians. I'm Laura, host of Loudavision, the podcast for visionaries, artists, and creatives. On my podcast, I'm interviewing fellow artists trying to figure out how we can bring our creative vision to life without compromising our values, crushing our soul, and dying poor. Yep, that explains it. You can listen to the Loudavision podcast on lauramioli.com and connect with me on Twitter at Loudavision.
All right, welcome back. I am glad you are still with us. Hopefully you're having a good time. Are you having a good time, Sterling?
Woo!
I'm going to take that as a yes.
That was my good time woo. So
Sweet. So words. They're sometimes hard. They're sometimes pretty soft. And sometimes you just love them for no reason. And sometimes the reason is just beating you in the face why you should love them as a word. Let's talk about our favorite words.
Let's. I would say this is actually another suggestion. It wasn't a question. It was more of a suggestion of things we talk about. Interesting topics. So I was like, oh, great, because I actually have a list of words that I started way back since my first podcast, The Lost Dial. I've been a list of words that I really enjoyed, whether it's not necessarily what they mean, it's just saying them, because some of these words, they're not always like, you don't hear them every day. So I try to do what I can to try to work them into everyday vocabulary. And one of my newest ones, it's not a huge one. I would say maybe... and this is something you and I, Kortney, we haven't really discussed how to rate words in dollar terms, because we tend to do this regularly where we're like, oh, that's a $25 word. I think when you spelt the word impenetrable,
I spelled it correctly, you guys. I think it was just a regular text to somebody, and I managed to work that word in there properly, and I spelled it correctly. I didn't even have to use the spell check. It just kind of happened, and I was like, whoa, I'm amazing. Yeah. And you called it a $10 word, and I was like, whoa, that's easily a $25 word. Why are you jipping me my monies? And so that's where this has come from.
And that's some kind of scale I think we'll eventually have to work on to figure out, like, okay, that is definitely a 25. That's a $50 word, because, it's because of how often it might be used or not used, or how many syllables it has, how many silent letters are hiding in it. So we'll figure that out one day. But today we're just talking about the words that we like. And like I said, I have a list, and oh my goodness, I didn't realize how much longer this list actually is. I thought it was like 15 words, but we're going to go through it, or at least my list, because I know you didn't have a full list ready, but hopefully this will give you some time. Maybe I'll even allow you to steal a few of mine that you like.
Okay. All right. You don't have to allow me. I was probably going to just do it anyway. But
yeah, you would. The very first word on here, and again, these are just words I don't have any real connection to them. It's just I like saying them, or I like hearing them. But the first one is vampirism. It's just something I thought it was cool. The next one is I practiced this one in the car. I'm gonna try to say it like I was like, oh, this should be fun to say, but tornadic. Okay, I must have missed it, but tornadic. Tornadic is.
Ooh, that is a good one. I'm going to steal that one.
Okay. Keeping along with weather, thunder snow, which is really two words, but come on, thunder snow. I mean, it's thunder snow. It gets me excited. Squishy, which is something that we'll be talking about later. Squishy is just a fun word for me. I know it's gross for some people because even the word squishy sounds squishy.
That's one of those words, isn't there? There's a term for that where
onomatopoeia,
which is one of my words.
I don't think it's one of my words, but squishy is an onomatopoeic word.
Peg? I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These next three are actually cities, and one of them you'll recognize from this show. The first one is Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't want to say Saskatchewan. The next one is Chattanooga. That's just fun running. Okay. Then the last one is Sheboygan, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have the Jimmy Legs, which I believe is what happens when you're on the sea, I think. Or if you're...
I don't know about the C. Huh. What did you say was your other option for that?
You might be drunk, I think. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up again. Okay. I don't know where I got it from. But the next one is definitely from the sea. It's a scallywag. It's what pirates call each other if they don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
This next word I've been pronouncing incorrectly for years, but debauchery. But I've always said debauchery because there's a CH in it.
Oh, and you pronounce a CH. How precious.
My next word is fisticuffs, because come on, if you're going to get with someone, you have to say fisticuffs. Like, you have to exchange fisticuffs, or do you have fisticuffs?
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I'm with you. I gotcha.
I'm not swearing over here.
Sure.
Same thing with, again, sticking with pirates and old-timey speak. Mm-hmm. Pirates do a lot of swashbuckling.
Mm-hmm. They do.
And if pirates eat a lot, they become rotund. This is actually something I say often, but
I like rotund too. It sounds round. It sounds like a round word. I don't know.
Round, and it sounds a little heavy.
Yeah, it does. It's a weighty word.
It is. And I will admit there are times I've used this to describe people I've seen and I've come across, and like, yes, that man was very rotund, and you just imagine him rolling down the street. So
exactly. That's exactly what I see. How did you know? I think of the girl, the Violet from
Willy Wonka and the
Charlie and the Willy Wonka, not Charlie, but Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and she was a rotund child.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And she rolled away.
Exactly.
She was rotten. Mm-hmm.
One of my Walmart stories, and I have several of them, but one of them does remind me of that girl, Violet, I believe her name was, because this woman came in wearing all blue. And I'm like, wow, you should not do that.
Because you're going to remind us of Violet.
Yes, she was rotund. I mean, her top, I think it just looked like a sweatsuit, like a two-piece sweatsuit she was wearing. But still, she was rotund and she was blue, and she just looked like a giant blueberry. And
yeah, well, everybody ain't able, I guess.
I get. It was late at night. Maybe she thought nobody's going to see her, but come on, it's Walmart, 3 a.m.
She just needed something to throw on real quick and run out and come on back in. That's all she needed
to do. I guess she didn't care. Whatever.
Right.
My next word is plutonium. It's just, again, fun to say. Jovial, which I think I've started to try to work in there. Like, how are you feeling today? I'm feeling jovial today, but and that actually, trying to think, I remember someone who was rotund, but also jovial. So it's also a good way to describe Santa Claus. So there you go.
Yes.
Oh,
both words.
Yes, both words. And this next word, which I really wish I remember to use more often, merriment, because
merriment.
Do you have a Merry Christmas?
Sounds very merry. Mm-hmm.
No. How was your Christmas? It was merriment. Or actually, no, you probably say it was merry, but
I was about to say, is that the proper usage of the word, or are we not going to go down that rabbit hole?
More of a noun. So, like, I intend to have merriment at Christmas.
Got you. Okay.
That would be the better usage of it. My next word is calamity. Behooves, which I've actually been using quite a bit. Nefarious, which I am part of I don't want to say a nefarious gang, but a group of us. We do call each other nefarious, and whenever we come up with ideas that seem dastardly, which I'm not sure if that's on this list, but it should be, we usually use a GIF that has a nefarious mustache of some gentleman of maliciousness. My next word is melancholy. I just like the word.
Good one.
It is.
It is a good word. It is a good word. It rolls off the tongue.
Even though it means like extreme sadness, but it's still a good word.
Yeah.
Mine. Oh, and so is the next word, which again, I think it's between these two words. I always try to figure out which one am I feeling more, or maybe not me personally, but which one is stronger, melancholy or crestfallen?
Ooh, crestfallen is definitely, I think, very, very. It's a bit It's a bit stronger to me.
Yeah, it's more dramatic because it actually has the fall.
I imagine somebody like putting the back of their hand to their forehead and just falling down in slow motion.
In a fainting chair, or maybe just
a fainting chair. Exactly.
It's like, what is this world? Oh, okay. This one is a word I would say you gave me in a sense, because I think you used it. I'm like, ooh, I need to write that one down. And that is commiserate.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like that word. I do like that word because it just, I don't know, just almost like uses the whole mouth, but it also has that Z sound, which you don't really get too often.
Like it's right. It's like a little hidden piece of, it's a hidden gem there that you just didn't even expect.
Right. This one I would say is one of our maybe $30 words, I'm going to say. Yeah. Mellifluous.
Mellifluous?
Mellifluous. Wait, I think I'm missing a letter. Mellifluous. There we go. Because there's some extra L's in that word.
I don't know that word.
That word, a synonym, I suppose, would be melodious. Both of these words mean pleasing to the ear.
Mellifluous or whatever is not very pleasing to the ear, though. It's an oxymoron. Is that what an oxymoron is?
An oxymoron would be like taped live.
Oh, okay, right. So that's not an oxymoron. But what is Well,
I guess for you it could work as an oxymoron because the word mellifluous is not pleasing to your ear, but the word
right. These words.
I was going to use another example altogether, but you ruined the flow.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please.
All right,
give your example.
I'll do it with melodious. I would say that your voice is very melodious.
Aw, thanks. I'll try.
Too late. The next word is sinuous, which I do not remember what that means, so I'm going to have to look it up really quick. Unless you know. Do you know?
I'm not super familiar with that word. No, I'm not going to guess at it either because I'll probably guess wrong.
Ooh, okay. This means having many curves and turns. Sinuous.
Yes. I should know that. Yes.
My next word is, again, this word is just fun to say, especially since I learned like, oh, this is what everybody's talking about. And it does not look like how it sounds until you realize, oh, that's how you pronounce it. But quinoa.
That's one of my words.
Yeah, because before I'd always look at it and I was like, quinoa. I've never hear anybody talk about quinoa. And the reason why is because that's not how it's pronounced.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's a beautiful thing, though. Beautiful word.
It is. My next word is actually...
You know how to harness it.
Oh, harness the word?
Yeah, if it's beautiful if you know how to harness it.
Yes, that's very true. That is very true. This next word is actually a name. I found this out recently, especially with the Winter Olympics happening. I was just doing some idle research. But Zamboni is somebody's name of a manufacturer.
Oh, so it's not the machine. It's the actual manufacturer.
Correct. It's kind of like how everybody calls tissues clean.
Okay. Or Xerox, right?
Right. That too. So it just kind of got that name. Like, oh, they're driving a Zamboni. I'm like, actually, this is the Ice Maker 1000. So I'm like, okay.
Made by not Zamboni.
Right. Exactly. So that was my actually voice.
You can keep it.
Well, because I mean, we hear it all the time, so that's what I assume they sound like. It's like, well, actually, Leonardo DiCaprio won his whatever. I don't care. My next word. You're gonna like my next word.
Okay.
Which is another name, and it's a made-up name by Tolkien.
Hobbit.
Smaug.
Yeah.
I
love it.
For a short while, I wanted to use that as an expletive. I can't even say the word now.
Expletive.
Yes.
That's a good word, expletive.
It is, especially when I can't say it. But I kind of wanted to use it as like, oh, get that Smaug out of here, or like, what is with all this Smaug? It's just it just uses the whole mouth. I like it.
It does. It definitely makes you work for it. Yeah.
This next one is also fun to say, and one day I think I might have to write like either a poem or maybe a song just to get it in there. But parallelogram, because of the L's.
Yeah, that one definitely rolls off the tongue.
Acquiescence is that was actually in a song, and I'm like, ooh, what does this mean? This is a short one, but a good one. Cusp. That is CUSP.
That is a good word. I like it.
Now we are back to city names. I don't know where this is. I can look it up later. But Kalamazoo, I don't know where that is. But again, fun to say. This is a name. Abernathy. I don't know what it is about it, but I just like saying it. Was that a name that you were possibly using or going to use? I don't know.
No.
Oh, okay.
I do like the name, but I wasn't intending to use it in anything. I don't know where you got it from. It's a good one, though.
Yes. My next word, I actually just looked it up because I'm like, ooh, this is a good word if I only remember what it was, but I just looked it up. Pernicious. And that is having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way.
Really?
Yes. And I forgot where I read it, but I'm like, ooh, I need to look up this word. And then I'm like, ooh, okay, I need to find a way to use it, but I never, ever really do. I need to find some nefarious reason to use it now.
Hi, you just used nefarious. Good job.
Thank you. Eviscerate. I do not remember what that. I feel like that has to do with cutting something.
Look it up real quick.
I'm gonna do that. Oh, it does. Disembowel. There we go.
I like that word, disembowel. It sounds very violent, and I'm here for it.
Let's see. We've got 4 words left. Scruples. Treachery. Oh my God, I forgot how much I love treachery. Or treacherous too, because all of that just so malicious. Okay, this one I need to look up because I don't even remember how to say it. I think I wrote it down because I thought this would be a good word. And now I don't even know if I can say it. I don't think I can. Maybe I can. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Verisimilitude. Goodness, that was difficult.
Come again?
Verisimilitude, and that is the appearance of being true or real. Verisimilitude. I actually broke it down into words that actually made sense, like similitude. Well, similar. I don't know, but I must have wrote it down.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, the word that I wrote down is longer. It is verisimilitudinous.
Verisimilitudinous.
Yes.
That's a $30 word.
I mean, I think it might be $50 if you use it in a sentence correctly.
Right. But if you just say it correctly, I mean, you get points for saying it correctly.
This is true. My last word is ambigram, which is also the episode title.
Yes.
Ambigram means a word or design that looks the same upside down or whatever way you like to turn it. Actually, not necessarily the same, but it either can look the same in another direction or it can spell something totally different. And there are many examples. You just put ambigram in the I'm saying just put it in Google. You'll find a whole bunch of words. I found a ambigram generator, so I tried to see what Indube looked like in such a format, and it was pretty interesting. But I couldn't copy it because they want you to pay for it.
Yeah.
Terrible one. Yeah.
Keep it. Just keep it.
In the meantime, definitely do take a look at today's or this episode's album art because I tried the best I could to make it an ambigram.
Sweet. Thank you for your hard work.
I do what I can. I make it work.
So my list is not nearly as long as yours, but I've got some good ones on here, I think. My first word is cockles.
Where you get that from?
I don't know. It's one of those words where, you hear it and you just like, I like that word. I feel like it's got a little bit of sarcasm with it, or at least every time I hear it, it's used in slight jest, and I'm all about words that kind of make fun of themselves. I did steal this next word. It is tornadic. In my defense, I did tell you I was going to steal it, but I do really like the word, even though I hate the meaning of it, because living in the South, we get tornadoes. Yeah. And it's so hearing about tornadic weather is not a fun experience, but the word itself is pretty dope.
It is. It's up there. It's like an action word, kind of.
It is an action word, it's an action word. So it's cool.
And I don't mean that by a verb. I mean it's like something's going to explode.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tornadic. So yeah.
It's very cool. So next word is onomatopoeia. You've kind of heard that word today, but I've always really liked the word. It's playful and it doesn't quite describe itself, but it's still just a fun word. And it
describes other things like squishy and woof.
It does. And it's fun to spell too, because I never spell it right, but it is fun to spell. Next word is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And the fact that this is an actual word is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it.
Did you get that one right the first time?
No. No. I got a lot of it. I mean, it's a long, this is a $30 word. I got a lot of it spelled right, but yeah.
I don't know. That one might have to be like 70 because do you see how many letters are in that word?
It's a gajillion letters. It's like almost all of the letters that there are in English.
Right. And I feel like that's a word, like once you start getting to the fragilistic part, they're like, let me spell the rest for you because you're not going to get it. Like they take over. It was like, we know where you're.
It like fills it in for you because it's like, bro, we got you. Thanks for trying. Thanks for playing, but we got you.
Is it possible you can put an ly at the end of that so it's supercalifragilisticexpialidociously? They say that in the song.
I don't know. I don't think they do. I just did it and it didn't say no. So hey, we just created a new word.
Nice.
Well, not really, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So that's part 2. Supercalifragilisticexpialidociously. Hey.
Nice.
So next word is February. I just really like the word because it's got that hidden zinger in there, that R that you don't even hear.
Mm-hmm.
I like words. Huh?
Like library?
Library, all of those are pronounced though.
Well, some people don't. They say library. If you listen, well,
they're incorrect. They are grossly incorrect. And but February, it's like, okay, bro, why did you put that extra R in there? Are you trying to trick me? And it does every time, and it makes me think. So I like it. Quinoa, that was one of my words. I like quinoa, and it's just weird how it's spelled. And I'm with you. I used to pronounce it quinoa, like quinoa. What? And it's quinoa. So yeah. So my last word is gumption. I feel like this is one of the words. It doesn't it's not a sound effect, so it doesn't kind of describe its own sound, but it describes itself, if that makes any sense. To have gumption, it's got weight behind it.
It does. Even when you say it like that person, they have real gumption. Like you have to dig to say it. And feel it.
It's kind of like moxie, which is not on my list, but I'm going to add it now. Moxie is another word that I like, a short but a sweet one.
Describes you as well. So
hey, I'll take it. So I just, those are my words.
Okay, very nice, very nice. So, and we will invite other people to submit their words to us. It doesn't have to be as long, definitely not as long as mine. Please keep it within 80 characters. Half circle. That's kind of the what we're looking for. Half circle if you're tweeting.
Yes.
Keep it that way. And I mean, I'm fine if you thread it. That's okay. So just hashtag indube word. Indube word. Oh my goodness. I didn't even include indubitable because that's where indube kind of came from.
Yes.
As long as I've been doing this podcast, I never really described or talked about where the word indube came from, but I guess it's now as good a time as any.
It is.
So back in high school, one of my, I guess at this point, if I were to make a list, Indeed would have been on that list because I said it all the time. So all my friends, whenever we were talking and they knew that I would say Indeed, they would kind of sometimes say it too, because they know it was one of my favorite words. And whenever we agree on something, they're like, oh, Indeed. And like, yes, indeed. I need a new word because you guys are stealing that one. So I started saying indubitably. And I found the only problem with indubitably is that it's too many letters to text. And I got too lazy in texting it each and every time, or not necessarily saying it, but texting it was fun. I mean, saying it is fun because of that whole, the way the letters and everything. But I needed something shorter. And I remember it was about 2004, I think it's 2004. I started my very first blog, and I was working at an office job. Nope, I lied. 2005. I lied again. It doesn't matter. But I started my very first blog back in the 2000s, and I needed a name for it, and I decided to call it the Indube the Workforce blog, because I was working an office job, and I just needed just a silly word just to kind of call it. And then I soon discovered Twitter. So I became at Indoob, and it's been that ever since. And it was all based on the blog that I started based on a word that I made up. And once people kind of knew that word, they automatically associated with me because they knew I said Indoob a lot. I said indeed a lot. I'm sorry, indubitably and indeed. And that's a mix of the two words, because if I were just said Indoob, that would have been INDUBE. But I'm like, nope, it's going to be, this is that double E just turning it into two O's and a D. And I had a little breakfast face, which I still have the picture. I made a picture of it was an IHOP breakfast that I made it into a face, and there's these two little pancakes that made the O's, and I still have this picture, so I might have to post it somewhere. And that was the original Indoob logo before it changed to what it is now, which is just the word Indoob with an exclamation point and everything. So that's kind of the story of Indoob, and I even gave it a definition, and it's basically just anything positive. And it's still an affirmative word, but it's mostly just a positive thing. So that's why we try to keep things light and happy here at the Indoob podcast.
Nice. I don't think I knew all of that. I knew most of it, but yeah, thanks for the breakdown.
Yeah, that's the history. That's where Indoob came from. It has nothing to do with my name. It's just a word that I made up with and liked, and people just associated like, oh yeah, that's definitely a word that Sterling made up. So, because yes, I made up other words, which I cannot. Oh no, Gimleys. Gimleys is a word that I made up. The quick story behind that is one day I was in South Carolina with my family. It was some kind of family reunion or something was happening. And I had one of my uncles looking in the closet for something I lost. And I'm like, yeah, I can't find my Gimleys. And like, okay, well, let me go. And I mean, neither of us lived there. So I just had him looking in the closet for absolutely nothing. And then I'm just sitting there cracking up because I'm like, yeah, my Gimleys, they're in there. And he kept pulling things out like gloves and boots. I'm like, are these it? I'm like, nope, those aren't it. And to this day, I still don't know exactly what Gimleys are, but they sounded real. And I had him looking. So that was just little joys that I had. And I was probably like, I don't know, 12 or something, but still just my fun with words. And I've done this to several people, just having them look for things that I make up. I had them looking at geese, but they were like, oh no, those are wallaby birds. They're not supposed to be around these parts. And like, really? And then they go off telling other people. I'm like, okay, I really should stop lying to people. But it was fun. That was how I got my jollies back then. I'm better now.
Well, we all have to get our jollies some type of way, That stuff matters.
Yeah, and mine were just minor compulsive lying. Minor, tiny things. Harmless, not nefarious.
Exactly.
No twirling of the mustache, just me. Because I was a child, so that's how I laughed as a child. So.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, we need to take some more time to think about these words and their impact in our lives and how valuable they actually are. Valuable meaning in dollars and cents, how valuable they are. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll see you soon.
Okay.
The Indoob Podcast.
Hey there, friend. Enjoying this podcast production? I bet your sweet buttery face you are. I bet you're also thinking, how can I support this show and look awesome doing it? Aside from telling your best pal and all their kin, you can head over to Indoob.com, and 2 clicks later, after hitting the store tab, you'll find yourself with several fun and fancy swag brought to you by the fine folks at the Indoob Network and T-Public. If you're a fan of Indoob, Food Fight, or anything under the Indoobian sun, you can find it plastered on mugs, hoodies, pillows, cases, bags, and of course, t-shirts. Hurry on over now, and you may catch a sale with all tees 30% off. Seriously, they have sales like every other week. So head on over to Indoob.com or tpublic.com. That's TEEPUBLIC.com and type Indoob in the search bar and continue to pod with the best.
And welcome back. What another lovely break that we had. I am just so lifted. My spirit and my soul are lifted by the discussion of words. I'm a geek, I know, but it just makes me happy. And as we've previously established, we got to get our jollies any way we can, because sometimes the world just sucks and sometimes bad things happen. So, if something makes us happy, talking about words and why we like them makes us happy, then so be it.
I'd say it makes us pretty jovial. Wouldn't you agree?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidociously jovial. What? That was good, right?
Yeah, as we sit here swashbuckling our words. But yeah.
In this month after February.
We're okay. Seriously. We're okay.
Yeah. It's not contagious. Or is it?
Oh, is that how you laugh if you have vampirism?
Okay, so we're just gonna cut this out and wrap this show up because this is getting a little tornadic. Oh, that's not correct, you people. So, guys, that wasn't correct, but it kind of fit, right?
I'll allow it. I'm allowing it. I'm keeping it.
Okay, all right.
Because hey, things could be a lot worse. They could be very crestfallen right now. It could be.
Yes.
You say that word with us. I feel so disingenuous. That's a good word, disingenuous. Wow. But
that is a good one. That is a good one.
It is not on either of our lists yet. But
I just added it, so speak for yourself.
Keep stealing my words.
We use that together. Hello, team effort. We're a unit.
Okay, it's all right. It is both of our words, disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll break it down. I feel like it has to do with syllables and maybe even vowels. Maybe because onomatopoeia. I mean, there are like 28 vowels in that word, and there are 29.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it a perfect word.
Mm-hmm. And stewardesses is a word that you can type, is the longest word you can type with, I think, your left hand on a keyboard.
I'm gonna try it. Let me try that. So like if you spell it correctly, you don't have to use the backspace.
Right.
Steward. Oh my gosh, it's correct. Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Just a random word for you, or a random fact of words. See, we are both word nerds, if you didn't already guess, because we just...
That's so cool. That is really neat. I did not know that. I have learned something today on the Indu podcast.
See, we're here just cracking ourselves up and teaching each other things.
About words.
Mm-hmm, about words.
And useless trivia.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what I'm good for. Good for that.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next?
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. Do you have any shout outs or anything?
Yes, I do. I want to give quick shout outs to our citizens. I know I don't do this very often, but our patrons, because we have a new patron for the Indube Network, Jamie Broadnax. And we also have Berto and Steph, who've been fellow patrons from before. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much. And again, you can go to the patreon.com/Indube. You can see movie reviews. And I did upload a new banner. There's also a video of me explaining what the Patreon is all about. So you can see me at the radio station. That is not my normal studio where I record in one day. Also check out the Indube Plays hashtag. So you can check out music that I'm listening to or usually listening to at the moment and just feel like sharing. There's also playlists that are there. I'm also featured on thecomicsbolt.com. They have a NERDSoul Sundays. I think it's every week, every Sunday, but I've been featured on the most recent one, and I'm talking about time travel and why it's important to me. So go check that out. And,
time travel is pretty important.
It is, and I try to go deep with it. I try to relate, like, what it means personally, and should we even be allowed to time travel? Should we not be able to go back in time to fix our mistakes if we are not to learn from them, or what ramifications will that happen, or what happen if we do go back in time and change something? things like that. So I kind of talk about that, and go check it out.
Sweet. I'm going to check it out now because that sounds quite interesting.
Yeah, it happened right before the Oscars, so it kind of got lost in the in the Oscar buzz that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to go through and I think I even try to put it in the show notes, so that at least that way it'll be found somewhere.
Yeah. Let us know about your stuff.
And
we want to support you, Sterling.
Thank you. And I think shout out to, I think it's Phoenix she goes by, but she requested, or she reached out to me to ask if I wanted to do it. I'm like, oh, sure. I just had to find something I was really nerdy about. I'm like, oh, man. Then it wasn't until later on.
So many things. Mm-hmm.
There is. I was like, I could have talked about my love for movie theaters and my passion for movies, but I won't time travel. So, can't go wrong. Or
I agree. You can go wrong with time travel, but discussion of it in theory, maybe not so much.
Yeah, because there's still much to discuss about it. Should we do it? Things or stories we've heard that have either gone wrong or gone well, or can we go in the future? Yeah, I go be here all night. So
we'll listen to your episode and go down that rabbit hole there.
Yes.
Sweet. If you'd like to catch me on the Twitters outside of the Indu podcast, again, on the Twitters, you can find me at IMK Hinton. Just, shooting the breeze, tweeting up a storm, a tornadic storm, discussing everything from light politics or heavy politics, depending on which way the wind's blowing, feminism, cute puppies, entertainment, The Good Place.
Oh,
because that show is amazing.
But later.
Lots of things. Spellbound Station, anything. So yeah, you catch me there, or you can catch me over at Verve HC, which is Verve House Collective's Twitter online hub. Verve is a place for audacious entrepreneurs, intention seekers, and creatives who are intentionally living a creative life, a life outside of the norm. And it's just a place to be. It's your tribe. So check it out. Any other shouts before we wrap this up?
Don't think so. Just Google Indoob for all things Indoob if you're looking for it.
And you should be looking for it. So do it.
And I started using my Instagram account again, so there's some things on there.
Oh, that's good. Instagram is a fun place, or it can be. And we need more light at Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off.
Podcast was recorded on planet Earth and is an extension of the Indoob blog found at indoob.com. You can subscribe and find more episodes on iTunes and indoob.podbean.com. You can also follow Master Sterling on Twitter at Indoob. I am not allowed. This is Bilford signing off, and this has been another 3SFX production.
Use your words, Chief. Good boy.